Morning. Um, I want to shift gears and support the channel, support the live. I want to shift gears for a little bit, and the title of this is "Forgive Me," and I'm specifically talking about the sisters out there. Um, like the past couple of weeks, I've been going on different live streams, listening to people who have some animosity or some type of it's this issue, let's just call it that, issue towards females, black females entirely. I mean, me personally, I don't care about no other race but my own. But it seems, and this is pretty much true, that you know black men have, and I'm not saying all black men have a desire to wanting to tear down a black woman because of how she is or how she was raised or what what could be and what could have been, what happened back then, back in the day, where the mammy, that's what I would call it, the mammy, not your grandmother, because you treat your grandmother like a mammy. You treat your grandmother like a slave. And there is no evidence whatsoever that a grandmother was that dispute to wanted to just cook and clean all day. My grandmother, and my great grandmother, they both carry shotguns. Because every time the Ku Klux Klan came up that dirt road in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, my grandfather gave my grandmother a gun, gave my grandmother that rifle, and shot warning shots up in the air. That's how my family was. Even my great grandmother stood her ground. They didn't live in this life of just do this and do that because it was your specific duty. No, your duty and honor to the devotion was to each other. That's how my grandmother had. That's what my great grandmother had it before my great grandfather passed away at 96. Hopefully it was 96. My great grandmother passed away at 103. When you pass away at 103, you lived an entirely great life. This generation, and I don't wish death upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. But this generation will be going quick because of your animosity towards each other. God sent you, and I believe this to be true, God sent you on this earth to reproduce, not just reproduce, but take over the kingdom which he created as man and woman, husband, wife, king, queen. When you get up on these panels, you act like pigs. Pigs in a pig pen just barking over each other, all because of little subtle differences. But it seems like to me that men have more complaints than women do. That's why you invite them onto your little panels, correct? There was a, but then you want to, but then there are some who agree with you and some who don't. And then you got those who cross the line. That shit that happened on the Peef network, that was crossing the line. And eventually this woman, Dr. Lady O, got kicked off the panel because she crossed a line. Then some people justify it and say, well, she may be in the wrong, but you could have stopped it by being the bigger person. Oh, no, 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 no. Once you cross that line, I have the official right, just like everybody else does, to say what I need to say or to do what I need to do. But you brought this among yourselves. You did. You did. You invited them. Man is its greatest threat. The men, the male, that's why we have testosterone. We create as well as destroy. People need to start reading, um, the go back to Genesis and read how the angels of earth were there just to protect and to be the protectors of this world. Instead, those protectors ended up being lovers of human beings. God was furious and put a curse on those specific angels that came down on earth and started mating with human beings. That's why when you read the book of Enoch, Enoch specifically tells you what those angels became. You are starting to become something that you're not. And to those married men, I feel the most sorriest for you because in your situation, you shouldn't be complaining. You should not be complaining. You should want to make things better for society instead of you doing more complaining and you have more solution. You are complaining to those. You are complaining to those who, quite frankly, in my mind, are innocent. Those specific women are either married to their spouses or yet, let me put it this way. They're coming up when they come up to panels and have a civil conversation with you. Your first reaction and instinct is to have them have them feel somewhat responsible for what it is that these other women who have no not even shouldn't even be in our peripheral have anything to do with what we got going on in the circle, but instead you chose to blame those particular women for what other women do. and you want them to start, uh how I say, to these get with other group of women to stop other women for doing other women shit. That's not their job. That's not their job at all. What their job is to, if they are married, to you, they're supposed to honor you, obey God, and honor and cherish you as a man. And you as a man are supposed to do the exact same. Because you took an oath under God. If you want to do a community work, you do a community work of service. And you start talking with other married couples about married shit. And when those individuals come along and they want advice, I don't want to hear a Darwin or anybody like that, because Darwin is in his own little world. He's gone somewhere. You know why we don't have generational wealth? After, you know, men went to the military, who took over, or excuse me, I'm sorry, when after World War, before World War One, there were men being called because, of course, the draft. I forgot what year the draft was. Men automatically had to go to war. Who took over while the men were out fighting? You guys did. The women of society, you took over the jobs. You took over the corporations while the men were away. Ladies, oh, that's what we're going by now. Sports, manufacturers. And when the men came back, they either came back wounded or they came back um, something else. They didn't have their whole entire limbs. Or some of them came back not at all. Was there a thank you? I wonder, was there a thank you in all this? So, quite frankly, my point of contention is you need them more, just as much as they need you. You need them more as much as they need you. But then there, fast forwarding, you got men who would just clearly take advantage. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. Those who keep preaching marriage and don't know what marriage is, I'm gonna say it again. Those of you who are married and don't know what marriage is, I'll say it one more time. Those who are married, who want to get married, excuse me, but don't know what marriage is, I think you need to get with some veterans. You know, I think you need to get with some veterans and start asking the specific questions, because we complain too much. She don't smile. Is that where we're at? She doesn't smile at me. Maybe there's a reason for that. You don't know what she's been through. You don't know what she's been through. You don't know what. I mean, there's a reason why she's hanging out with her friends. But then you come along and you have that look on your face. It's like she is supposed to do this. Like she is supposed to just automatically look at you and smile. Why don't you make her day? Why don't you a flower is a start? It gives you're a simp because you give a flower. I'm a married man and I give flowers. I give flowers to those who deserve it. I don't. It doesn't matter to me because society as a whole is in trouble. But then again, I go by the eye test and I look and I could look at you and tell that you are an unhappy person. So the basic thing to do would be to say, "How are you, ma'am? Are you okay? How was your day? You look lovely this evening." Start giving out hugs. Do the free hug thing. Just stand out in the corner and say, "Hugs for free." No, we want to we want to get on these panels and just, oh boy. So from here on in, I'm gonna start and let your people know that from here on in, we on Simp Nation is in the building. I'm gonna let this Umar thing rest for a bit. I support the brother, but you know, it gives me a headache every now and again. And then I'm gonna concentrate more on our sisters because this is ridiculous. Oh, and shouts out to public offender. I'm gonna have to get a hold of that brother and a couple of other people. But back to the generational wealth. You know what? Why we don't have generational wealth is because again, when they went out to war, women started taking over factories and organizations and sports and all this other stuff. And then, of course, they started making money. You could have made money right with them. Could have practiced some type of independency, right? So if you're independent as a man, as a male, and she has independence, you're both making money. And when you come together under one roof, under God, under one roof, and you start to have kids, there should be no issue other than you should be saving money for either uh, making some type of, what I want to say, distribution for your being an entrepreneur, start making industries, money, baby, as man and woman, husband and wife, king and queen. But instead, you want to make it your specific duty to want to take her wealth, have her sell her assets so you can make money. Jesus Christ, if you need money, just ask. but she doesn't have to sell anything. That's how we lose. Every time we take two steps, every time we take 3 steps forward, we end up taking 3 steps back. That's why we're 400 years behind, or we're 250 some years behind everybody else, because you want to be somebody that it really doesn't matter anymore, because this economy is so bad. You know how many people they let go in the past month and a half? You know how many people have lost their jobs in this country? In the United States of America? And you want to be that guy. Okay. I just want to make a public announcement. I believe it. I believe it. Hell, just in Nevada alone, I believe it. But I want to make a public service announcement. I, We-On-Loc, am sorry. On behalf of the brothers, I do apologize for. I apologize for my behavior. If I've ever did anything wrong or said anything wrong to you, I deeply apologize on behalf of all the brothers out there who have done you wrong. We need you as much as you need us. For those who out there who proclaim that they don't need no man, I just want to say thank you for your services, but we don't need you at this moment. Whenever you better yourselves, you can come back to the congregation, but at this time, I'm going to need you to take exit left. I'm going to need you to stage left. I'm going to need you to stage left, because we don't need that right now. For those men who constantly complain about, how women don't treat you or don't treat you, all this other nonsense, I'm going to need you to stage left. I'm going to need you to stage left, because we don't need that type of energy right now. We need to come together, because the togetherness is one thing, but the energy that it brings a totally new nuance. It's like restarting a car. Once you put the battery in, the new battery in, and you start the car, it's brand new. Got to check the alternator, but it's brand new. You need us as much as we need you. Now, if you're these type of men who just want to get married just to have access to sex, you have failed more than which you have failed 10 times over, because that divorce comes quick. Divorce comes quick, and you wonder why people get a divorce at a high rate. And you feel you have access access to a womb, which means you have access to her money. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So from here on in, We On Simp is in full effect. I should change. Should I change my name to We On Simp, or should the name We-On-Loc should that stay? I'm wondering. Just tell the truth. Should I just change my name to We On Simp? That's what they're gonna call me anyway. That's what they're gonna end up calling me. Cause I'm gonna this week or next Sunday, I'm gonna make the show about us. Those who want to join the panel is welcome to do so. I'll even take those who, well, not everyone, but I will even take those who have issue with me taking up for the women. I'm not taking up for the women entirely, but there are way too many. There needs to be a balance. But the thing about it is, it's unbalanced because there are way too many men who have panels who complain about females too much. If it was a healthy diet, no one would be saying anything. Because you got this character and that group, red pill, black pill, blah, blah, blah. But the one thing that pisses me off, the one thing that truly pisses me off about certain panels and certain networks or whatever is you have this disdained. I don't even know what it, but every time I see this white woman, my teeth cringes. It just wants me to just snatch the host, whoever that host is, and just grab them by the neck and say, "Nigga, is you crazy?" Every time you put Pearl up there, I lose respect for that host. So you want to put old Pearl, you want to put white Pearl up there for what? Infiltration is at an all-time high. We just want to have the conversation. She could have the conversation with her white follower. I mean, don't get it. Doesn't she have all those brothers out there that she allegedly pays in Britain somewhere? Why does she have to be amongst your circles and wonder why she was disrespected the other day? Fill out black women. She as if she knows about what black community about the black community. Uh, why don't you sell some? Check this out. If you want to be so involved in the shit, why don't you share some of your wealth, some of your influence? I said, why don't you, Pearl, share some of your wealth? You won't do it. You won't do it. We've been bamboozled for so damn long, and all of a sudden, people start having a conscience. People start having consciences of how who to bring on and all that and all this other stuff to try to get these women to kowtow to black men's authority. That sounds so weak because you don't have the ability yourself as a black man, not all, you don't have the ability as a black man to say to a black woman, anything that's outside of red pillism, manospherism type stuff, it's always you need to submit to me. You need to get married to me. You need to find me as a black man. As a black man living in a world that obviously I would say 70% read at a sixth grade level, which is quite proven. Have some of these odd jobs that even though they pay um, three times as much, the economy lets you know this economy, this economy that under Trump, which most of you Negroes voted for, and the money that you make says different. And having a two-parent, living under a two, living under living under one roof, two living under one roof is better than one living by itself. Yes, you do get paid at tax time, but again, this economy will tell you different. Unless you're in the military. So I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for the men who are unhappy in their marriages. I am so deeply sorry who for those men who are deeply unhappy in their marriage. They may not admit it because their pride will not allow them to admit that they're unhappy. All they have to say is, all they have to do is go like this. Ooh, I have a ring on my finger. I have a ring on my finger too. But are you happy? Are you happy? Are you are you at least happy? Or you just thriving? You're surviving. Surviving means you're holding on by a thread. That's all that means. Survival means you're just holding on for dear life because you don't want to let that woman go because it's going to break up it's going to break up the home. Fuck that. If you're happy, or excuse me, if you're unhappy, leave. There are more than what is. There's less men and more women. I don't claim that because everybody is for someone. There's way more than enough. There's way more than enough. If I'm unhappy with you, guess what? I don't need to be around you. But I have the respect. I have the respect still to say this might not work out, but at least we tried. At least we tried. That's all we ever ask for is to try. No, you broke up a happy home. Ain't no happy homes broken. The only home that is broken is when both parties are responsible for tearing each other apart in their own demonic ways. That's the only time it's the family structure is ever broken. Other amongst other things, but we won't name what that is because there are those women who are super sensitive to the subject. We all know what that subject is. I think it's DS or DB, or excuse me, DS or domestic disturbance or DV. domestic violence, whichever one you call it, whichever one you would call it. People don't know that domestic violence is real amongst men and women, but mostly men are way more destructive. People complain a lot. Men complain a lot because of their woman is she wasn't being home trained, but who picked her? Men do most of the picking of the litter. And you meet these people where in clubs and driveways where Negroes like to express themselves through, how much jewelry they got, how much money they got, or what kind of car they drive. I don't know what the hell's going on nowadays. I do not, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what the hell's going on nowadays. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to know. It's just it's crazy to me. It is crazy that you have individuals arguing over spilled milk. I'm gonna start reviewing some of these, and of course, Fatty's channel, Fatty's alive and well. Fatty's still doing these exact same content as before because it works for him. And congratulations. What works for you is working for you. So you have a plethora of men and women on the panel, and they have the differences of opinion. But at the end of the day, it all ends in chaos. I don't like it, don't want it. I don't want that type of attention. I don't want that type of attention to the point where I have to argue with a woman each and every single time. I've done that in the past and it has gotten me nowhere. I've been betrayed. I've been called a whole bunch of names. But the one thing I will not do is I will not argue with a woman on the panel like that. I will not argue with a woman on the panel. Simply put, I've been in other spaces and it does not work. In other words, we tried this. We tried this. Why don't we try this? Again, it works for Fatty because he's getting the money that is required for him. A certain attention requires him to make money, and when he makes that money, he needs to top it off with something else that is equaling the type of and the negativity that is here. Because once you get at a certain angle, you can't stop at that. Otherwise, you're not going to get the memberships. You're not going to get the super chats, the cash apps, or whatever. You have to stay at this particular level, which I refuse. I'm not a guinea pig to this. I got a job. I'm good. I got side hustles. I'm good. I am good, fam. I don't need you to, to be perfectly honest with you, because this is a bad investment. This is bad because not everybody may. If this was such, forget the 30%. Forget the 30% that they take away from you. This is just a bad investment altogether. It's a bad investment. YouTube takes up. Do you? I just want to ask. Do you recognize each and every time you're on live, time passes by, and each time passes by, you get more older, you get tired, you get more older and older and older, and the time that you spend not knowing the outside world and what it has to offer. Moses went up to the mountaintop to try to get in contact with God. As he came down, because obviously time slows down each and every single time you get in contact with the creator. And you look and your hair turns gray, and you're seeking more knowledge and more knowledge and more knowledge. Each time the clock, there's a minute, an hour went by. Each time an hour went by, a day went by. Each time a day went by, a year went by. And when he finally came down, he looked just like an old man. But you're not seeking knowledge like that. You're doing the exact opposite. Instead of connecting on your with your brothers and sisters on an intelligent level, on a very positive note, all this negativity is going to suck you dry. And you wasted your time, and you wasted your time for nothing, and this is the reason why divorces happen. This is the reason why breakups happen over an internet. Over the internet. And this is the reason why I don't go on this thing very much anymore. I'm up to 2,000 subs almost. I've accomplished what I've accomplished. If I don't get another super chat in life, if I don't get another membership in life, I'm fine. This is a hobby. I've tried my best. But apparently, it seems when I look on here, it's nothing but chaos. Not for everyone, because not everyone streams chaos. Not everyone streams the same four food group bullshit every day. And the four food groups are black women, bitches, hoes, Umar. Now I'm adding something to it. It's the Derek Jacksons. I don't know too much about Derek Jackson, and let alone do I care about Derek Jackson. I guess they call certain people Derek Jacksons because he tells his own tale about relationships, and he's lying to what are they lying about? He tells a lie how females are beautiful and this and that and this and the third, and not telling the truth is like your loyalty should be your loyalty and duty should be under me, and if you don't do what I say, there are consequences and repercussions. It's like, who are you? You're a black man in this country with no wealth, nothing, nothing to show for. You have nothing. And in certain cases, you don't desire for greatness. But yet you like analyzing Michael Jordan. You like analyzing LeBron James. You like analyzing Alexander, whatever his name is. You like the dude that just won the NBA title. You like analyzing those guys. But then again, it's not just the women that you hate. It's the dudes that you be hating on. But I have to admit, sometimes we have to take a step back and say, why are we hating on them? Their accomplishments are their own. We should focus our on. We should be focusing on our accomplishments. It's too much. So you ain't on a female for what? The circle goes on and on and on, and we are trapped in the wilderness. Not me, because I moved on with my life. Y'all are just steadily just going in the wilderness and don't even know it. You like to project your failures onto a black woman instead of looking in the mirror at yourself. Just, what did I do wrong? You don't like to hold your own self accountable, but you like to hold a black woman accountable. That's funny. So next week, be on the lookout for We-On-Loc Nation. um I don't even what I want to call it. Insurrection. We-On-Loc's presents Insurrection. My version of Insurrection. And I want y'all to come check it out. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to look out for We-On-Loc Nation. Support We-On-Loc Nation. And like I said, anybody can come up on the panel. Just shoot me a flare and let me know. Shoot me a flare and let me know that you're interested. Because conversations like these need tooling up. They don't need to be thrown away. They just need to be tooling up. Because I feel we talk about the same shit every single day. And it's not healthy. It is not healthy. Yes, women do make bad choices and make mistakes, but we do the exact same thing. How can we cure that? We cure that by curing ourselves or treating ourselves to a cure. But that's some simplest thing to say. No, it's not. You gave a woman 12 grand. No, I didn't. And even though she showed her version of the receipts, I have the same version of the same receipts, and none of it is close to it. It's nowhere near close. Yes, I was the idiot that entrusted what I thought was a friend. That's where the betrayal came in. But that does not mean I jump off the ship and I go and say that women are an abomination. No. I just throw that bad apple out and that's it. And I treat it. I treat the tree. Or I can just cut it down and make another one. I cut it down to make another fruit tree. It's as simple as that. It's called learning lessons. Learning lessons that not everyone, and I was naive. I was naive for many, many, many years. But as I get older, I get why I'll start to realize that you can't help everybody else. And this is the reason why, and this is one of the other reasons that we don't need to help every man. We don't need to help every woman because it's a fantasy. We don't need to help every ADOS person. We don't need to help every FBA person. We don't need to help every Pan African person. We don't need to help every Israelite person. Like a He-Man and it person. May George Carlin rest in peace. Anyway, thought I'd just chop it up with y'all. Don't forget, if I have the energy, I'll go live today. But other than that, it will be next week. And just be prepared for the insurrection. Love y'all.